Hello parents and teachers. My name is Anbu Annabel Chellappa and I welcome you to this webcast on arts and technology in the early years. I'd like to begin by first acknowledging the Aboriginal traditional owners of our lands and waters. During the next 20 minutes, we'll look at three topics. Firstly, we will examine the role of the arts in the overall development of the child. We then will look at the influence of the arts on academic outcomes and attempt to answer the question, is it important to include the arts in the curriculum? Finally, we'll review some practical ways in which the arts and technology can be incorporated into the curriculum. Research and study on child development have identified that the experiences, environment, and education that children are exposed to during preschool years establish the trajectories that determine their later development. The early years are crucial because it is during this stage that children make dramatic advances in physical development, emotional and social development, cognitive development, and language development. Early years educators and parents who endeavor to support the development of children during the early years are challenged to find a middle ground between academic achievement and holistic development. Teachers must recognize that arts and technology presents a modality through which children can be intellectually challenged and develop their cognition, communication, social and emotional skills, and at the same time experience the joy and pleasure that engagement with the arts provides. Now let's look at the role of the arts in the development of a child. The role of arts in the development of a child can be best acknowledged from the vantage point of observing the strong parallel that exists between the nature of play and the nature of art. Professors Marjorie Ebeck and Manjula Vaniganayake make a powerful observation that children construct an identity through play and use play to express who they are, what they know, and how they feel. This is also true for the arts. Moreover, the 5 essential characteristics of play identified by Professor Fergus Hughes apply also to arts. Like play, arts is intrinsically motivated, is freely chosen by participants, offers pleasure, is non-literal and involves make-believe, and is actively engaging. Professor Catherine Garvey concurs with Hughes and proposes that the 4 defining characteristics that describe play are: play is pleasurable, has no extrinsic goals, is spontaneous and voluntary, and involves active engagement on the part of the player. These characteristics fittingly apply also to the arts, and on this basis, it can be contended that the evidence available on the role of play in the overall development of the child can be ascribed to arts also. The role of arts in the development of a child can, therefore, be analyzed in the light of the strong similarity between play and art. We'll now review how arts have a positive influence on the developmental domains of a child. First, let's look at emotional and social development. Creative arts such as drawing, painting, drama, dance, music, and movement are powerful modes of communication through which children express their choice, feelings, and ideas and build their self esteem. Children use the medium of art to visibly project their thoughts and feelings, and the art children create becomes an extension of themselves. They use color to express emotions, to represent the world, and tell their stories. In addition to aiding the emotional development, arts also contributes to the social development of the children. When children engage with art in small groups, it fosters social skills like turn taking, sharing, and negotiating. Young children develop socially when they explore their environment through dramatic play, taking roles, acting out situations, playing cooperatively together, learning about their world, discovering themselves, and understand about human nature, especially the way they behave. Moving on to cognitive development. The cognitive development theories proposed by both Piaget and Vygotsky portray children as active and motivated learners who construct their own knowledge and understanding of the world around them. During Piaget's sensory motor stage, young children explore arts through their senses. At this stage, arts provides an opportunity for children to acquire knowledge of cause effect relationships through repeated actions and observing the consequences of these actions. For example, by repeatedly tapping on the keys of a musical instrument and observing the sound. When a child reaches Piaget's pre-operational stage, where the emergence of language, modeling, and symbolic through the key features, children are able to assemble signs to create meaning and artistically communicate meaning through their artwork. Through arts, Vygotsky's ideas of cognitive development can be applied when teachers and parents interact with children and mediate their learning experience by helping children attach meaning and events to their artwork. Now let's see how arts influences motor development. Given the striking similarity that exists between play and arts, the different types used to categorize play can be applied also to arts to draw inferences about how art supports motor development. As is true for sensory motor play, infants can begin engaging with sensory motor art when they can start manipulating their fingers and toes. Arts helps children to develop motor skills by engaging in simple repetitive actions like dipping their finger or hands in paint and placing it on a paper or repeatedly striking the keys of a musical instrument. When they are old enough to acquire fine motor skills, arts enable children to develop fine motor skills through drawing and cutting with scissors. As young children develop an early awareness of moving their body in time and space, artistic activities like dancing allow children to create rhythms and patterns and develop control over moving and stopping with sensitivity to timing, learning to maintain their personal space while being aware of others' personal space. Finally, let's look at language development. Singing is a powerful vehicle for oral language development. Singing allows children to actively use oral language when they sing the words of a song. Much learning can take place through singing as children can encounter and learn new words through singing. Group singing provides an opportunity to even shy children to participate without fear, and develop confidence in the use of language. Arts activities that combine songs and rhymes with actions and movement allows children to develop language, motor, and social skills simultaneously. Research indicates that musical experiences like singing songs, rhymes, help children in the development of phonic, phonemic awareness and the ability to recognize different phonemes, helps the children to enrich the different tonalities, keys, tempos, and rhythms of music. Now that we have seen the positive influence of arts in the holistic development of a child, let's move on to examine how arts can influence academic outcomes. Though research provides strong evidence on the positive influence of arts in the holistic development of a child, an art academics dichotomous thinking continues to attach lesser weightage to the arts in favor of achieving higher academic outcomes. The education system, particularly in Western cultures, regards that arts as peripheral, relegates it as an extracurricular activity, and continues to focus heavily on literacy, numeracy, and sciences. Given this skepticism towards the role of arts, it is important to examine research on the association between involvement in the arts and achievement of higher academic outcomes. The report found significant relationship between high exposure to arts through rich arts programs in schools and the creative, cognitive, and personal competencies needed for academic success. One key finding of the study was that children with a high level of exposure to arts consistently outscored children in measures such as the ability to think creatively and flexibly, the ability to express thoughts and ideas fluently, the ability to imagine ideas and problems from different perspectives, and resistance to closure, which is a measure of open minded thinking. Professor James Catterall, based on a study which examined longitudinal data from 25,000 secondary school students, concurs with the Champions of Change report. Catterall found a substantial link between involvement in the arts and academics achievement and identified that students in the high arts group perform better on every measure of academic achievement than students who are not involved in arts. Critical links, learning in the arts, and students' academic and social development is another relevant report that provides strong evidence on the positive relationship between participation in the arts and the achievement of higher academic outcomes. Examples of such positive relationships identified in this report include involvement in instrumental music leading to better maths outcomes, the use of drama during preschool years to develop high proficiency in language and literacy, integration of creative movement and poetry contributing to development of social and motor learning in children with behavioral disorders, the positive effects of creative drama on social and oral language skills of children with learning disabilities. Despite strong consensus on the positive influence of the arts on academics and rising claims about the effect of the arts, we must exercise caution and remember that though findings confirm a positive correlation between the art study and academic achievement, enough evidence does not yet exist to claim that arts have a causal effect on academic achievement. Elliot Eisner, professor of art and education at the Stanford Graduate School of Education, contends that even though research may demonstrate that the arts contributed to academic achievement, the case of arts education would be compromised if the extra artistic consequences are provided as the primary justification, because the place of arts in the school curriculum would be jeopardized if it can be shown that some other activity or field more effectively boosts academic outcomes. Eisner argues that such outcomes, important as they are not distinctive to the arts, and therefore suggests that the justification for including arts in the curriculum must be based on outcomes that are distinctive and unique to the arts. The three distinct outcomes, according to Eisner, are: arts contributes to the growth of meaning by allowing us to access meaning that cannot otherwise be literally articulated. Eisner postulated that arts allow us to convey meaning that cannot be articulated through language, and supports his view by pointing out how we use shrines to express our gratitude to heroes when words are inadequate, or appeal to poetry at poignant moments of life when we bury or marry, or how we use maps and charts to convey information that cannot be literally expressed through words or numbers. A thank you card that a child draws on Mother's Day to convey her gratitude to mom is another striking example of the distinctive way in which the arts allows a child to access and express meaning. Arts contributes to the growth of the mind, as it requires the ability to compose qualitative relationships and make judgments about how qualities are to be organized when the mind cannot appeal to any formula based rule or recipe for guidance. Eisner cites questions such as: is a color too raw? Or is the edge of a shape a bit too sharp? Or does this section in music require a smoother transaction? As examples of decisions that must be taken to determine the right fit without relying on rules, but rather relying on cognitive abilities that integrate feeling and thinking. Arts contribute to the growth of experience, as it enables us to have unique experiences that we can have from no other source, and through such aesthetic experiences, discover that we are truly capable of feeling. Professor Judith Burton, Robert Horowitz, and Hal Abels, who contributed to the Champions of Change report, conclude that the relationship between the arts and other disciplines cannot be described by a simplistic unidirectional model that conceptualizes a one-to-one correspondence in which arts serve other disciplines. Rather, they suggest that learning in the arts develops a set of cognitive competencies, including elaborative creative thinking, fluency, originality, focused perception, and imagination, which together form habits of the mind which enable a reciprocal relationship between the arts and other disciplines, allowing the children to move back and forth across disciplinary boundaries, critically reflect on and within each discipline, construct new meanings, and go beyond what they know towards new horizons in learning. Professor Burton concludes that the arts are neither ancillary nor core to the curriculum, and proposes that arts must be included as an integral part of the curriculum as it contributes to development of critical ways of thinking and learning, and nurtures a constellation of capacities that the students can exercise across different academic disciplines. Therefore, as suggested by Burton, arts must be accorded equal rights as curriculum partners along with other disciplines. In the final segment of our presentation, we will look at how arts and technology can be incorporated into the curriculum. Technology can be used in our curriculum to help children to design, reflect, research, edit, and compose as specified in the Outcome 5 of the Early Years Learning Framework. Digital photography, video, computer-generated images can be used in the visual art curriculum for as it offers scope for children to enhance their visual art experience. Children can be given an opportunity to create their own animation, and this would enable them to bring in some cultural references that have a particular meaning for them. A range of software available on the market that can support young children's computer generated artwork can also be included in the curriculum. Digital devices like the iPad can be used effectively by downloading the age appropriate apps for young children. These apps does not rely on written instructions but provides verbal direction to children. Such apps, including interactive ebooks, can be easily navigated by children and are very effective for learning literacy skills as they engage children visually and imaginatively. Few practical ways of including arts and technology in the pedagogy for children in the 0 to 5 age group are described below. Activity to learn painting can be set up using an easel, paints of different colors, and paint brushes. This would allow children to stand and freely express their ideas through painting. This activity can be used to provide a sensory experience for young children by allowing them to use their fingers to explore, mix paint, and create different colors. Indigenous art can be promoted by encouraging children to do dot painting using earbuds or a small pointy brush. Children can also use their handprints to form patterns and designs. This activity can be further extended by sticking craft items like stars, glitter, and crepe paper on the drawing. A drawing table can be set up with paper and color pencils, crayons, to help children express their ideas on paper. Children can also be given an opportunity to present and explain their artwork to other children. Children can be taught different types of songs, including rhymes with actions. Reading of books can be accompanied with song and actions, providing children with the opportunity to relate to the story with the words of the song. Examples of songs include The Wheels on the Bus, Ants Go Marching, or Down by the Station. A variety of toy musical instruments like drums, guitar, xylophone, maracas, and shakers can be used to allow children to play the instrument and sing at the same time to the beat of the music. Aboriginal musical instruments can also be included to help children develop an appreciation for indigenous music. YouTube videos of songs and nursery rhymes can be played to provide visual and auditory stimuli to children and to help them to grasp the songs quickly. Songs like Five Cheeky Monkeys or Five Little Speckled Frogs can be used to teach children numbers through songs. According to the Early Years Learning Framework, knowing where and with whom you belong, which is integral for all human existence. Indigenous arts can be used to allow indigenous children to develop their sense of belonging. A practical way to embed indigenous perspective is to include paintings of boomerangs, dot paintings, include decorative instruments in the curriculum. For Anglo-Australian children, exploration of indigenous perspectives are crucial as it allows them to develop strong ideas about their identities and that of others. Here are examples of indigenous art by children at the center where I work. Digital media with assistive technologies have opened a new dimension to work around developmental challenges for children with disabilities. Using such media, play materials can be adapted to suit the individual requirements. And using voice output devices, communication boards, devices operated by eye gaze, and range of switches can give a new leash for many young children with disabilities. Professor Gillian Rodd states that engaging with children in artistic learning is more than just asking them for their ideas and views. According to Rodd, educators must take the time to listen to them and look for their perspective and using their ideas in reality. In conclusion, when teachers and parents are convinced of the pivotal role of arts and technology in promoting development across the five developmental domains, they can become powerful advocates for integrating arts and technology in early years education. I hope you found this presentation useful. Thank you for your attention.